Why are rich Indians leaving the country? Sanjeev Sanyal's big truth. When letting big companies fail actually becomes better for the nation. Just imagine. A time when the country's economy is growing rapidly, the stock market is breaking records, highways are being built, startups are earning global recognition. And at the same time, the country's richest people are quietly packing their bags and leaving abroad. They are selling their homes, changing citizenships, buying new land, new houses, new identities, and leaving behind the very country that gave them identity, power, and wealth. The question is, why? Is it just about clean air? Just about pollution? Or is the story far deeper, far more complex than that? This is where renowned economist and thinker Sanjeev Sanyal steps in. And he says, this is not just a quality of life story. This is the story of a hidden pain buried deep in the DNA of a certain business class in India. Something we are understanding far too late. Sanjeev Sanyal clearly says, when rich people leave the country, you cannot simplify it by just saying they wanted clean air, they wanted a better life, they wanted luxury. These may be parts of the story, but not the whole truth. The real story lies in the business ecosystem, which in many places is still trapped in old thinking, old mindsets, and a psychology that fears risk. When the SAM generation keeps running the SAM business, when leadership keeps revolving around the SAM faces, the SAM families, the SAM mindset, at first it looks like stability. But after some time, that very stability becomes the biggest danger. Because another name for stability is comfort zone. And another name for comfort zone is the end of innovation. When the SAM business family takes every decision for decades, new thinking cannot enter. New blood, new talent, new risk takers don't get space. Instead of facing challenges, businesses start seeking safety. Instead of facing global competition, they start demanding protection. They want monopoly, not risk. And that is where Sanjeev Sanyal says the real problem lies. Because when a particular class constantly starts thinking, why should we take risks? Let the government protect us, save us from competition, then the country's economy doesn't move forward. It stops. He says real development happens where fresh people are allowed to enter, when new minds can step in, when new ideas can breathe. But when old legacy becomes a wall, becomes a gatekeeper, and refuses to let new talent in, then the oxygen of growth runs out. And then what you see today happens. Many old businesses get tired, become outdated, fail to upgrade, and finally reach the edge of collapse. But they don't want to fall. They don't want to break. They want someone to save them. They want the system to protect them. And that is where the economy begins to slow down. To see the complete opposite picture, you only need to say one name, Bengaluru. Sanjeev Sanyal says this city is not perfect. There are water issues, traffic problems, infrastructure stress. But still the city is alive, energetic, creative. Because here the youth works on ideas. Coding happens in garages. Big dreams are born in small rooms. There is risk. There is no fear of failure. There is no old legacy sitting at the gate to stop them. There is no one saying, it has always been this way and will remain this way. There is only one clear truth. Those who think, do. Those who try, move forward. And that is why India's startup ecosystem is today among the biggest in the world. But then a question arises. If India is so dynamic, if the startup ecosystem is so strong, then why are the rich leaving? Sanjeev Sanyal answers this too. He says many sections of big business treated our research and development as an expense, not an investment. Many companies stretched old products instead of creating new ones. They did not develop an innovation culture. They did not keep pace with technological revolutions in their industries. And when the world changed, when global competition intensified, when new players arrived, they felt the race had slipped out of their hands. And when the race slips away, there are two options: either run faster or leave the track altogether. And many chose the second option. Sanjeev Sanyal says many businesses showcase their occasional CSR work as if they have done something extraordinary. Donating furniture to a school, sending a healthcare van somewhere, giving a donation, these are all good deeds. But they cannot be a substitute for business transformation. The real work happens in labs. The real work happens in workshops. Real work happens when the owner himself goes to the factory floor, understands the system, upgrades technology, takes risks, and creates new products. But when CSR becomes a replacement and hard work becomes optional, decline begins. And then comes his boldest and most powerful statement: failure is necessary to make the economy strong. Yes, you heard it right. Failure is necessary. He says a healthy economy is not one where every company is forced to survive no matter how weak, outdated, or poorly run it is. A healthy economy is one where continuous renewal happens, where new companies keep emerging and old ones that are no longer capable are allowed to fall. That is why he strongly supports insolvency and bankruptcy systems. He asks, if a company is weak, inefficient, and incapable, why should the entire nation sacrifice to save it? Why should taxpayers' money be used to keep it on artificial life support? Why should a company be saved forever just because it is big? Remember the banking crisis of 2017. Many large companies were on the verge of collapse. The old belief was that big companies must be saved, otherwise the economy would fall. But the opposite happened. India allowed many of those big companies to fail. The market cleaned up. Resources were reallocated. Competition increased. Strong companies became even stronger. With weak players exiting, the market became more efficient. And today, India's corporate sector stands stronger than ever before. He gives the example of the aviation sector. Jet Airways, once the king of the skies, top luxury airline. But when management decisions weakened, debts increased, systems collapsed, and brand decisions started failing, what was the point of keeping it artificially alive? It was allowed to fall. It hurt. It was emotional. But the result? Market space opened. New airlines rose. Competition increased. The industry cleaned up. The economy became healthier. This is economic evolution. Sanjeev Sanyal says, we must accept one truth. Sometimes, the death of big companies is actually better for the nation. Because the ones that survive are the truly strong ones. And the ones that fall become a warning for future generations. Don't live in a comfort zone. Take risks. Innovate. Evolve. Now connect this to the debate of rich Indians leaving India. When the system opens up, when accountability increases, when competition becomes stronger, when crony business culture ends, naturally, those who have always depended only on protection will feel insecure. And some of them will choose to leave. But this will not weaken the country. This will make the system more honest. New people will get space. Fresh energy will come in. The economy will become more dynamic. And the biggest truth in this entire story is this: India is currently in a transition zone. On one side is the old economy that wants protection. On the other side is the new economy that wants risk. On one side are legacy businesses that want status quo. On the other side are young innovators who want revolution. And standing in the middle are policymakers like Sanjeev Sanyal, who say the economy becomes strong only when it has the freedom to fall and rise, when there is freedom to try, and responsibility to face consequences. When growth is not forced, but natural. When protection is not policy, but exception. We must understand that in the world's most successful countries, failures are celebrated, not hidden in shame. Silicon Valley is built on this culture. Try, fail, learn, grow, repeat. If India continues on this path, gives startups breathing space, respects innovation, and stops giving artificial oxygen to inefficient giants, then the future won't just be bright, it will be
If our
blazing.
video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestion. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources: news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.